Welcome, IT changemakers, to the DEX Show with Tim Flower and Tom McGraw. Let's get into it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the DEX Show Live. Nice to see you all. And welcome, of course, to Experience London. We're here by the Thames in the incredible Intercontinental Hotel next to the iconic O2 Arena. Tim, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Tom. It's so awesome to be in London. We don't have the history that London has over in the States. It's always so cool to be over here.
Can I just ask, who was here last year? Who was here at Experience London 2024? Let's see a show of hands, please. Were you cold? Were you very cold? Do you remember last year? We were at the Tobacco Dock last year. It was a beautiful venue. It was straight out of Peaky Blinders, but it was freezing cold. So we hope nobody is viscerally cold today and is just enjoying the day and is excited about it. We have a couple of absolutely wonderful guests to welcome to the stage momentarily. Before we do so, Tim, since this is the year of AI, right, something like that, we thought we would play a little game with the audience, okay? Is everybody up for a game? We need your participation. Please give us a clap if you're up for it, okay? Okay, this is an escalating ladder of AI confessions, okay? We're playing a game of AI confessions. So we're gonna start with the professional ladder, all right? So we want everybody to be quite honest. And I'm gonna go first. We want a show of hands to admit if this applies to you. Does everyone understand? Okay, confession number one, simple one, just to get everybody's arm working, right? Who here has used AI to write an email for them, an entire email? Not everybody, okay.
But a lot, more than I would have expected.
A lot of self-respect out there in the audience, shall we say. Okay. Tim, do you want to ask one out? Okay, you got the next one.
Yeah, so we're all professionals. Everybody's on LinkedIn. Who's used AI to make themselves sound smarter on LinkedIn?
Actually, I don't need to do LinkedIn. Who has used AI to write an entire LinkedIn post, soup to nuts, as they say, the entire thing? We got one honest person in the whole DEX Show Live audience. Okay, that's good. Here's one I come up with, right? I have to explain this one, okay? Who has used AI professionally to soften the blow? You know, you've got to say, look, the hand, people know exactly what I mean, right? You've got to say something that's a little difficult to say, and you're like, how do I put this, you know? One way or the other, and it softens the blow. I totally have used AI to soften the blow. Okay, Tim, one from you.
Who's used AI to actually author an entire blog? I need to write something. I have no idea what to write. Just let AI write it for me.
People get fired if they admit this. So we won't tell anybody.
I use it to break the writer's block, but I don't use it to write the whole blog.
Not the entire blog. Nobody is admitting to this. So quite right. Okay. Who has ever, if you imagine, right, you're in a call, you're in a meeting, yeah, and you suddenly sense that you're going to, it's a Zoom call or something, right? And you suddenly sense that you're going to be asked a question. You can tell because the question's going around and you know you don't know the answer. Who's pulled up AI to quickly establish the answer in advance of being asked the question? And let me just be the first to admit. Okay, we got a show of hands. Guillaume down the front. Our guests, in fact, are very honest and very vigorous AI users. We like that. Okay. Amazing. Last one, Tim. Last one from you, of the audience. Come on, everybody. Be honest here.
So who here has used AI to make themselves look good and hoped no one noticed?
Let's go. Come on. We don't even believe you. We don't even believe. Got some crossed arms out there.
I have another.
People aren't even denying it.
I have a follow-up. When you receive something that looks like it was AI generated, how do you feel about the person who sent it?
Who do you think a little bit less?
Do you think a little bit less of that person, or do you think more of them for being creative?
You guys one or the other. They can't show that.
No, I know. It's a set up the two sides. So how many people think less of the person who sent the AI generated? And how many people think more of them for being creative and efficient?
My left hand goes up. I'm going to be okay. Well, thank you so much, everybody. You're a somewhat dishonest audience, I suspect, but we appreciate it. And we're going to welcome now our first guest. And we have a bit of a theme today, which is digital adoption. You're going to notice that across both of our wonderful guests. And could you all put your hands together to welcome Nexthinker and Senior Director of Product Management Diagnostics, Guillaume Charles. How you doing, Guillaume? Nice to see you, man.
Guillaume, welcome.
Hey, man. How you doing, bro? Good to see you. Guillaume was very honest, by the way. He was, the hand was going up like almost every single time. I don't know, man. Like, but Guillaume, maybe introduce yourself and your relevance to this theme and topic, firstly.
Yeah, sure. So I'm working in the product team at Nexthink. And when we met, when I was on the show 2 years ago, I was really focused more on the DEX side of things. So everything around troubleshooting, diagnostics, alerts, amplify, reducing tickets. And a lot of things happened since then. So Nexthink did their first acquisition of a company called Uplearn. I was naturally involved in this because I had worked on application experience from day one. So I was involved in everything around how to better manage applications and the experience of employees using business applications. Plus the technology was very close because it's really these browser extensions which allows to do both digital adoption but also application experience. So when the acquisition happened, I was involved in the due diligence. And then basically we spent a fair amount of time integrating the Uplearn product into the Nexthink stack, into Nexthink Infinity. And so yeah, now I'm really 100% focused on everything around applications. So huge focus on Nexthink Adopt, digital adoption, but also still application experience because they really go together.
And if people don't know, what makes Adopt such special technology, Guillaume?
Well, it's the only digital adoption platform that's built on a DEX platform. What does that mean? It means that Nexthink can really guide people inside applications with this, real-time in-application guidance to make employees more productive when they're, for instance, they need to perform a task, a complex business task in an application. Imagine an HRM, a CRM, or even your custom homegrown applications. But it can also solve technical problems in real time. So if you're an employee and you're trying to do something which could be as simple as requesting vacations or as complex as converting a link during a purchase order, Nexthink Adopt can guide you through this process. But if at some point you have a permission issue, technical application issue, plugin to install or whatever, then we're the only platform which will enable you to solve this and to fix it in real time while staying in the flow of work in the application.
And we saw the crowd, digital adoption is a preoccupation for many, not for all. There's without a doubt from a year or 2 years ago, it's becoming more and more to the forefront of people's preoccupations. What are the trends which are driving that preeminence?
Well, first, I think the market and the industry are getting more mature. So people, start to understand that even if your technology stack works perfectly, even if you already have Nexthink and you have workplace experience, you have application experience, things work well technically, if people don't know how to use the applications, they're not going to be productive, they're not going to have a good employee experience. So that, I think, is just, time pass, people get more mature, think about those things more and more. But then also you have the global economy. So, rationalizing costs, making sure that people use applications to their full potential before thinking about buying a new application. So, we deal with very big organizations, and many of them, they have 4, 5, if not more, BI tools. And same for, AI tools, same for sometimes finance tools. And basically, those companies start to realize, well, we need to stop buying more and more and focus on what we have first. So Nexthink could already help reduce, for instance, the number of licenses. But now we can also make sure that the employees will use the application to their maximum, to their full potential, before buying a new application. And this you can do easily with Adopt because you can really guide people through the application, through the complex workflows to make sure that they use the features that they might not be aware that exist on those applications. And of course, the last trend, as you can imagine, and everyone has guessed, is AI. Yeah. All organizations now have a huge mandate to adopt AI. And if they don't, they're going to lag behind. They're going to be eaten by competitors or by the next Gen AI native startup. And again, digital adoption can help a lot in this. And you will see this in the keynote and throughout this event.
They made you. Yeah, they made you. Thanks, Guillaume.
So Guillaume, Nexthink is all about removing barriers to productivity.
Yeah.
Big aspirations can have big hurdles to overcome in doing that. In my years in IT, I've seen countless numbers of transformations and software deliveries where enablement and training was an afterthought. And that can create all kinds of chaos and headaches. What do you see as some of the biggest barriers to successful adoption?
Yeah, an obvious one is thinking too much about technology and not enough about people, for sure. We all know that change management and adoption are both technology but also people topics. And training is something that's very, very difficult to do. I think even if training sometimes is not an afterthought and you think about it carefully, if it's done the standard, the old school way, it's not so efficient. I think we've all experienced this, been in a training room or in a remote session for hours, if not days, to learn about something new, a new process, a new application. And then you might need to apply this a few days later, sometimes maybe a few months later. What do you remember of it? Well, there are studies which show that I think people forget something like 80% of what they learn in a training session in the next couple of days. And it's just human. You cannot do much about this. People will forget. And then they will have to do their job. They will not know how to do it. They will look for information. Maybe, all your training has been documented. Maybe you have an LMS system somewhere. But people will not necessarily find it. They don't know how it's called. They don't know where to find it, where to find the right info. And even if they do, it means they're interrupted. They were in the flow of work, like very focused. And they have to break their flow. They have to go and find some information somewhere else and come back. It's a huge productivity loss. And that's a huge barrier. And with digital adoption platforms, you can really bring the information that people need at the right time, in the right context, to the right person, in the right application, in the flow of work.
What always strikes me is like, where do you learn something the best? Is when you're doing it, right?
Yes.
And that's when you learn. Like, it's not when someone tells you how to do it before you have to do it. Right.
In the moment.
It's a natural thing. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what digital adoption platforms are doing.
Yeah, 100%.
So good baseline, good foundation of what Adopt is, the problems that it solves. Let's move from theory to reality. What are you hearing from customers? What kinds of problems are you seeing solved in the field? And since we've announced it, what kind of foothold does Adopt have out there in the market?
Well, there's a lot of use cases. So I think one thing that's important to remember is that Adopt is not only about adoption, it's also about compliance, it's also about data quality, it's also about making sure that when people perform a task, when they follow a process, a business process, they do it well. Because maybe people do the process, which is already something, but they might do it wrong because the application does not have the right validation capabilities, because they don't have the right information. So then you have this back and forth. You submit a report, you submit an expense, you submit something, goes to a manager, goes to someone else. They realize you've not done it properly, comes back to you, you have to fix it. Again, a lot of time wasted, lots of productivity wasted. Imagine errors as simple as not filling properly a billing address versus a shipping address. And then you ship an expensive piece of material, could be a car, could be a medical device, to the wrong place. That's huge in terms of cost, in terms of time, and that's due to a very small mistake in one field, in one form, that Adopt can fix very easily. So we see these types of use cases. We see customers using Adopt on HRM platforms. Workday is a very common use case. It's a very complex application. We see a lot of CRM, Salesforce, Dynamics. We see custom applications, of course. We have a lot of focus on guidance, but also analytics are very important. So the administrators, the business, but also IT need to know how this guidance is performing, how people use the applications where they're struggling. And we also see our customers start to benefit from the integration of Adopt in Nexthink Infinity. Being able to also solve the technical issues, being able to understand how people use the application, but also how the application is performing, all together in one single pane of glass, not having to go to different teams to bring the pieces together.
So a lot like Infinity itself, Adopt is a very innovative product, right? When we first started getting DEX out into the market, one of our biggest jobs was to get everybody who uses it to think differently. Adopt is very much the same. Do we need to get all of these folks that are in IT to think differently about digital adoption? And essentially, are we giving them a new problem that they don't already have? Or do we have a new customer that already has this problem? How do we bridge the gap between a couple of different consumers in IT?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So first, think about digital adoption is already a first step. And then how do you think about it? I think there's very different approaches that we see in our customers. It's hard to say that there's a one-size-fits-all approach. So we have some customers, and you'll hear some of them in breakout sessions today and tomorrow, where they've built a center of excellence. This center of excellence for digital adoption could be in IT, and it could be the same as the existing Nexthink DEX team. For some others, it's in HR, it's in learning and development, for instance. And some others has not necessarily built the center of excellence, but they already have adopt being used by the business. The business could be, finance, sales, or HR, for instance. I think what's important is really, to collaborate, to communicate. We think that IT has a very important role to play there. We think that the team already owning Nexthink today, the tech side of things, can play an important role. I think the center of excellence is always a good strategy to be able to expand to other parts of the business. It's not mandatory, it's not necessary. We see customers being successful without it, but I think it's a good strategy. And we know that IT cannot own all the business applications, so they really have to work, they have to communicate, they have to delegate, and really build those relationships with the business to make sure that they get the most out of Nexthink Adopt.
So Adopt has been out for a couple of years. How has it, one of the big differentiators for Nexthink is the speed that we can innovate. How has Adopt evolved since we introduced it a year or two ago?
Yeah, so when we launched Adopt, it was like the original Adopt from the Apleon acquisition. And basically we spent, I would say, about a year to integrate it in Nexthink. And just by the fact that it's now in the Nexthink platform, it benefits from a lot of new functionalities. It's more enterprise ready, the data can be exported at scale, customers can build their own custom live dashboards on analytics. So there's a lot of things that are there. You can use Nexthink Assist, for instance, to query the data, just asking questions. How many people have interacted with my guide on Salesforce? How many people have dropped off on this guide on Workday? So that's something that you get out of the box with Nexthink, with Adopt being on Infinity. But we've also released a lot of new innovations. Some of them are pure digital adoption platform innovation, like the capability to group guides in journeys, for instance. And some of them are more, AI native, AI innovation. So we now have the capability to translate guides in any language in just a click, in a few seconds, using AI, of course. And some of them are really taking, the most out of the fact that Adopt is on the Nexthink Infinity DEX platform, like what we call those action buttons that basically you can put inside a guide. So when a user is following a process and is being guided by Nexthink Adopt, they can click on a button, for instance, to request for new permissions, to install a new plugin, to do any technical task that they would need to do in the middle of their business tasks that they perform in the application. And once again, only Nexthink can do both the digital adoption part with the guides and the fact that you can solve a technical issue. I think a great example is onboarding. We know that every organization in the world has trouble with onboarding. It's a very complex process. And with Nexthink, imagine that you can, when a new joiner joins your organization, you can make sure that they have the right technical settings, that their VPN is working, that they have their single sign-on in place, they have the right browser extension installed. And once everything has been checked from the backend using Nexthink Flow, for instance, transparently in a few seconds, then an engaged campaign can welcome them to the organization. So they don't even need to know if they need to go to a specific application. From the campaign, they can click and get to, let's say, your employee portal or your HR system like Workday. And then Adopt will just pop up and guide them through welcome, fill in your profile, fill in your bank account details so you make sure that you're going to get paid, and then take them to Salesforce if there's a sales rep, or for instance, Jira if they're a product manager like me.
It is such sort of special and innovative technology, and obviously everybody in the audience can go straight from here at 10:30, I believe, to Pedro and Sam's keynote. I think they're going to hear a bit more about
Yes.
Adopt. So, and if you're listening or watching it, you can either watch that on demand or maybe you can go to Boston if Boston hasn't come along yet. But there'll definitely be an option not only to see that keynote, find out more about the latest iteration, but also to get in touch, right? And
Definitely. Don't miss it.
and now let's we're going to hear next from a customer. But just to say, Guillaume, thanks so much for doing this, man. It was lovely to have you. Lovely to hear about Adopt. Round of applause for our friend Guillaume.
Hope to see you soon.
Thank you. And we'd love to welcome now, make sure you give her the right microphone, my goodness, Gabriela Moraes from Electrolux. Round of applause for Gabriela, everybody.
Welcome, Gabriela.
Hi, Gabriela. How you doing? Nice to see you.
Doing good. And you?
Oh, can you hear her? Can we hear
Are
her?
you here? Hey.
Yeah?
I'm listening.
Gabriela, do you want to play some more AI admissions with the audience?
Do it.
Let's
I'm
do
a
it.
fan. You
Okay. These are, okay, so we've done the professional admissions, okay? And people were kind of, I felt a little bit dishonest, right? Yeah. What about personal admissions? So, who confides to AI? Who tells AI their problems? Anyone? Does anyone admit to telling AI their problems?
Personal therapist.
Use AI as a personal therapist. Nobody is admitting to it, which is interesting, because I know a few people. What do you reckon?
planning trips counts.
No, that's not a therapist function, is it? If you have an issue, like an issue in your relationship. Go on, Tim, you got one for personal admissions?
Yeah, so I just did this myself. So who's used it to plan a personal trip?
Myself.
It's a great trip planner. Completely agree.
Who uses AI as a doctor?
As a doctor.
It's got my whole medical history in the prompts. Yeah, like the whole thing. Everything I could ever admit, you know. Who has shared a secret with AI that is a proper, you know, in some context or other, that they wouldn't necessarily share with just anybody? And it's a secret, you know, besides medical records. Yeah? Yeah? And what was it?
I was changing jobs.
What was it? Very good. Very good. Well, maybe one or two more, Tim. Come on, bring us in.
So I'm terrible at remembering jokes. Who's asked AI to develop or create a joke that you can tell?
Was it any good? No. Do you think it was funny? Yeah. AI is getting funny.
AI thought it was very good.
We were chatting before about how sycophantic AI is getting.
It's very complimentary. Anything you ask it, I'll be happy to follow up with you. Let me know.
Oh,
if I can
great
do
question.
That's a great question.
It's getting really.
Enough.
We're calling it Ask Kiss GPT. In fact, weren't we? You know, but anyway, shall we get on with views?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, Gabriela, tell us about yourself. Tell us about Electrolux to begin with.
And so I started back in 2015 in HR. So I'm HR folk, outlier here in Experience. My first year in Experience, my first time in a live show as well. Super happy to see adoption in the main stage where it should belong. And really keen to hear whatever we are going to hear from Pedro and the other guys in the team. And yeah, so adoption has been like part of my journey since ever, I believe, because I care about what people think. And for me, it's all what adoption is about. So really listening to people and understanding what their really needs are.
And talk to us about that transition from HR into what you do now. How has your role and career evolved?
Yeah, so I started back in 2015, as I said, and there was already my first contact with systems and also with how frustrated employees are. And the employee journeys could be like a struggle. And then from there, I moved to projects, HRIS, and now adoption, because I've always wanted to challenge the status quo of why do things are so hard. So I'm a challenger within the HR setup. So yeah, always asking why this is so hard and how can we make it easier. So this brought me to where I am today.
Nice. I think Tim's got some questions about that specific.
Yeah, so let's stay on that adoption track, right? For anyone who may have been following me on LinkedIn, You can see that I had a grueling first half of the year, traveling everywhere from San Francisco to Sydney, and it felt like everywhere in between. And as I talk with executives around the world, adoption has been top of mind. So talk a little bit about digital adoption specifically. It seems to be a big priority. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, it is a priority. I see it everywhere, honestly, but at Electrolux, it's a top priority. We embedded even in the corporate strategy because, to be honest, the company has invested a lot in the tech stack in the last decade. So it's expensive, but we are not always seeing the return of investment following. So we understand that now because we took a few steps back and went back to the end users that we call it employees, and we defined a baseline, right? So what good adoption should look like. And then we understood that we need to simplify the tech stack and make it more intuitive, more designed to what the user needs, not what us that build the technology think they need to. So, yeah.
And there's a psychological approach to the program as well. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so we use behavioral science to support us. We made a lot of research. We count with the support of the design team as well inside of Electrolux. And we understand now that the user journey, it happens successfully whenever we design for the behavior, not for intention. So we ask them, we keep listening, and every time that we try new things, and we have a very selected group of representation from all of the company, and all the things that we develop and try to innovate, we start small, listen to the group, and always bring back whatever we are thinking to deploy, and they are like our hand-to-hand partners. They keep sharing feedback and spread the voice as well. So that's been very, very productive, I would say.
So that's the human side of adoption. Talk about the AI side. How does AI change your plans? Does it need any unique attention? How does AI factor into the equation?
Yes, AI is everywhere, so it's speeding up everything. It's great, but from the adoption side, it's super challenging because we have the regulations that are not following as fast as we need. So we have the governmental side, but also the corporate side. So we need to speed it up. But also we have the safety psychology piece, which is to make sure that people trust AI. But of course, we also need data governance and security from the data models to make sure that people can build that trust on the AI. But we need people to make sure that they can trust it, and the AI will not replace them, because that's still something that a myth that people believes. So I guess all combined is what I see at least as the adoption challenge that we have for AI.
Great.
Yeah, and we're talking about AI transformation there, and what are the main obstacles at the moment that people are confronted with?
I believe, again, the data governance, that not always the data that we have there to support the model are the best. So we need to look at it, because the output of the AI will be as good as your data. We all know this by now. But also, I believe that we need to focus on developing the skill set of the people that are going to use AI, not only technically speaking, so how to write good prompts and all, but also how to be more analytical and taking that insight that AI will bring to them to make smarter decisions. So I still see that we have this analytical skill set. It has a gap. And again, coming back to more core HR side here, we need to develop those skills as well to make sure that AI will reach its full potential.
So your career has obviously had a bit of technological, a lot of human, and increasingly in IT, those two elements are coming into closer and closer contact all the time. How do you see that playing out in the coming years? And how are you plotting your own future career to sort of ride that wave as these two forces come together?
I believe that HR and IT, it's coming more and more close over the years. We are already seeing even like reporting to the same vice presidents or but even though when it's not, we are coming close because we understood by now that technology serves a purpose that is to make people work better, and HR as well. We are there to support people to do their best. So it's kind of the same goal at the end of the day. In my career specifically, I love to be the bridge, and I will keep doing it because the mantra that I use internally at Electrolux with my vice presidents from HR and IT is that we need to make technology more human-centric and the people strategic more technology-enabled. So that's about it.
That's a cool ethos. I like it
Yeah?
a lot. I like it a lot. That's amazing. Lastly, we want to keep you here to say goodbye and do a couple of last audience questions, please. But
Yeah.
you've only been here an hour, to be fair. But why should listeners, viewers who haven't been to an experience, perhaps come to this event? Just a little.
I believe it will sound like too common to say, but to challenge the status quo. Mainly because again, adoption is coming to the main stage, which is amazing, which says a lot, right? We are shifting from technology to people. So let's hear what the great things are coming from Nexthink, but also from each other. Let's talk to each other and see what are the great things we are building ourselves.
Wonderful. Thanks, Gabriela. I'm going to ask a couple more questions, but no more confessions, everybody, okay? No more embarrassing confessions. Let's just find out what people are thinking and feeling about AI transformation in their organizations, right? So who here thinks their employees are using AI more than they currently realize? If you had to guess, more usage than you would estimate or than you would guess or know. Who thinks they're using it less than they would like? Yeah, there's some little bit of that. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's depends on the core of the goal of what they are trying to achieve. I believe that when they have a very sensitive subject, sometimes they are more afraid to make mistakes, but they are willing to. We are hearing from employees and they want to use it, but they not really sure the right way to do it, but the majority wants to use it.
Is anyone here concerned that employees are using AI incorrectly without understanding the risks of AI? That there's a sort of a casualness around it, yeah? Yeah? Tim, you got another for the crowd?
Yeah, we all know what shadow IT is.
Yeah.
How many people think that shadow AI is rampant? The cowboys out there doing their own thing. And that you know nothing about? Couple.
And who's had to actually deal or confront a real incident of an employee, how do I put it, breaking company policy with AI, who's actually had to address it or had the ability to address it? No? Nobody? Yeah, you have had a couple. Interesting. Well, people may want to catch Pedro and Sam's keynote.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt, at 10:30. And if they're watching or listening to this, they can get that on demand or they can come and join us in Boston. But we will make it whatever we can available in the show notes. Just remains for us to thank everybody, not least our guests, to Gabriela and Guillaume. Round of applause. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
And thanks everybody for coming to Experience London and for coming to see us this morning. We've really appreciated it.
And it's great to be side by side in person instead of across the pond, and great to be in front of everybody here, including our guests. So
yeah, come and say hi if you're a listener. It's always lovely to meet people here while we're here. And thanks so much. It's been lovely to see everybody have a great experience. Cheers.
To make sure that you never miss an episode, subscribe to the show in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast player. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure to leave a rating of the show. Just tap the number of stars you think the podcast deserves. If you'd like to learn more about how Nexthink can help you improve your digital employee experience, head over to nexthink.com. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.